My name's Keith Rucker. So here it is, guys. The restored Oliver 80 table saw. Wow. It's about 5:30 on Sunday afternoon. I just got through finishing cleaning up the shop here. Everybody has left and gone home after 3 wild and crazy days of just absolute fun and hard work working on restoring this machine. So we had about, I think, if I'd added everything up, we had about 20 people come in for the weekend. Not all at one time. We had different people here different days, but all in all, about 20 people total came in for the weekend to help us work on restoring this Oliver 80 table saw here at the Georgia Museum of Agriculture in Tifton, Georgia. And it has been an absolutely fabulous weekend. Man, it has been fun. Not only getting to meet all these people, a lot of you guys I already knew, some of you guys I had never met before. And it was really a lot of fun, though, to get everybody together. And I'm always amazed anytime I've done events like this to when people come in, how they just pitch in, help, how they want to learn, how they want to just have a really good time working together. And that's exactly what we did. We came in on Monday and really had this machine torn down and almost completely cleaned down to bare metal, and a lot of it painted before we left. Saturday was the detail work, the little small stuff, and starting to put it all back together. When we came in on Sunday morning, this morning, the saw was almost completely done. We had to wire up the motor, get it all belted up, just do a few little last things, getting everything fine-tuned. And really, we wrapped up right around 12, 1 o'clock today. We had everything done. So just absolutely fabulous. Absolutely one. I'm still just blown away, guys, with the generosity of everybody coming in and the wonderful time that we had doing this. It was really a blast. So I've got a lot of video footage that we took. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, this is not going to be my typical video where I'm talking to you guys and doing instruction and talking about what we're doing. Because when we were here this weekend, it was organized chaos. It was definitely organized. We got things done, but we had so many different things going on in different places simultaneously. And myself, as well as everybody else, we were just running from one thing to another, getting everything done. And I really didn't have time to set up a camera and talk about what we were doing like normal. It was really just get everything knocked out. So I did get some volunteers to help me with some camera work, to go around with the camera and shoot some video. Right now, again, it's Sunday afternoon. I haven't even downloaded the video off my camera yet to see what footage I've got. So I don't even know what we're going to have following this. But I'm going to put together some videos showing what all we did over the weekend so you guys can kind of get a taste. And then over the next couple of weeks, I'll probably have a few more detailed sections, hopefully, where we can talk about some individual things. Probably with me doing some voiceover narration more so than directly talking about it. Again, I've got to see what video I've got to see what we can figure out, what we can do. But without further ado, let's get into the video and let's start seeing the process of taking this rusty hunk of a piece of scrap iron, as most people would have thought, and turning it into a beautiful, fully functional table saw.
I'm trying to see if I can get this handle out. Got to be released from the gear too.
It's stripper, the spray stripper that I'm trying to get the old paint that's baked on off. It didn't come off the first time, so now I'm trying to scrub it with a brush. Kind of a toxic chemical. You don't want to get it on the camera.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like it's working this time. The white's gone, the red's gone. So. Maybe so. saw it already. I know.
Very nice.
It doesn't have to be exact because you can sand off the top later. It has to be close. I can cheat with mine. Makes you see microscopically.
Fuck, it's going to. If you get it stowed, it'll be alright anyway. He said lay it on.
Do what?
He said lay it to it, so we're going to try and do it all in one coat. Whatever you want. Just make sure it covers.
Maybe we'll bake it. I'll take the second. I'll do it.
Shut it off when we go, leave it overnight.
We'll either that or take it and I'll paint the second coat tonight.
It was surprising when you wore that hat. I told you, I think he has a sense of humor. Just It's already been documented, but I just wanted to
We'll have to look. If I got new ones, we'll put new ones in. Just set them aside for right now. I've got a bunch of new grease fittings in there. Just have to see what we can. Probably good. Okay, we're ready for some more cutting.
Have you ever used the VintageMachinery on the treasure?
What?
Scraper?
No. No, I haven't.
It's the same bearing, it's just a sealed version.
Yeah.
Both of those, or was one?
We only made one of them. One of them had broken. The other one looked like it was fine. I'll tell you what I need to look at though. The shaft was hitting on the inside. Or that right there was hitting on the inside of the flange. Yeah.
Some really good torn.
Okay.
Bolts in the top.
Yep.
Hold on at the bottom. If you want to go. Alright, we started on that.
Bring all these little parts in.
I remember you saying that in the video because of the way the bearing journal here is stationary.
Right.
Line.
It was designed to be line shaft driven. So this one was right about the time when they were starting to go to the motor mounted ones and tilting arbor saws, what we call that. This is a tilting table saw.
Now, is there a lot of need to tilt a table when you're doing
What we're going to be using, this thing right here is basically going to be like a little mini sawmill. When they have a big timber they need to rip down, this will be the go-to saw. Probably 95% of the table saw working here is still going to be on that little Dutch mini saw over there.
That's exactly what I'm going to do with mine. Same idea.
But they have out here, you know, it's like, look over there, see that big timber right there? I mean, we're working with stuff like that all the time. And you can come in here and use a saw like this and just throw that on the table saw and rip it down. You can't rip that saw on this one.
What size blade does this run?
I think it takes up to an 18-inch
Up to an
blade.
18.
I think. I know it takes a 16. I have to look back in the catalog.
Most moderns are 10, aren't they?
Yeah,
That's a 10 inch, yeah.
That's not cool, was it? When we get this catalog, you need to frame it to the different varieties.
70,000 out.
This is what we have.
And about 3. Maybe 2 feet. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I think that's close enough. All right. If I had my 10 indicator, I could get it a little closer.
15 minutes.
Got it on video.
Being brushed on the machine.
The came across the sale paper is 1908 for a Ford car. Like finishing kind of picture that car. There were some
The overtime bolt.
actually some we can create images from the negatives.
Sitting on 2 boards outside covered up, and I think it's twisted a little bit.
I think if this saw don't cut straight, the problem is it's speeding too fast.
Yeah, it doesn't have any kind of a...
It's got that spring on the back.
Well, mine's got a little...
So, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up again for today. If anybody wants to, we talked about going to the little Mexican restaurant tonight, which is
Are you in the El Caz?
El Cazador.
Where El Caz used to be.
Yeah, the new where the new one is, the bigger one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, because everybody's saying the one that replaced El Caz is a cook. It used to be an El Caz, and it's better than the new El Caz.
Yeah, we knew that one.
That's what the people at the hotel told me, was that they're getting better reviews from
I thought it was good. I've been there before. And when the old one, I guess, it was good business.
Yeah, but we can do either one. Doesn't matter to me.
I think everybody's staying right here.
I'm just on the
Go
drive.
to the old.
Okay.
That wasn't me, that was them.
I think they used the same holes that was in there before, though.
Oh, it did use the same hole, good.
Yeah. That's a beauty.
Did somebody redo that?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, you're a movie star. We take a pen, put that in there, pull the paper out.
Got teeth.
Got teeth. And we put this in here like so. A little bit more. We got lacing on one side.
Excellent.
Stop it. So here's the plan. We're going to pick it up, we'll come back, and then we'll come. Ready? Good. Right there. Got it? You got somebody back there with you? We got it.
This one's not sitting, the funny's not sitting all the way down the arc, the lock's not going over the top of it.
Just unbolt it and slide it up in there and see if it's got a place for it to set in there like a groove.
What big, huh? A big wrench.
It may have a shape and heat in it.
We're firing the hole. Quiet.
It don't vibrate either.
No, it ain't no problem.
First cut, 40 years.
That's like butter.
I never heard of it.
That motor's struggling. We're going to need more horsepower.
Think you need a little more horsepower?
We put a 8x8 timber on there at night. Yeah. Awesome.
It's so quiet.
It's so quiet.
I don't think I've ever known buffer and tape like that. What point are we going to
We couldn't have one this morning. And I think with all of our help, we'll have about 400 hours in it. It's all right. So there you go. Hopefully you saw we had an awful lot of fun. I'm not even going to try to name the names of everybody that came this weekend because I can't remember them all. I've got a list, and I'll try to do some credits maybe at the end with all the names of the people that came. But again, it was a great time. I want to thank each and every one of you guys that did come down to help with this project because there's no way we could have done this in the short amount of time that we did. I did some quick math, and I haven't done the exact numbers yet, but we've got about 400 hours of volunteer time in restoring this saw. And most of that being over the last 3 days when you add together all the people coming in. Yeah, I did some of the machining work ahead of time, particularly on the fence, and I'm glad that we did because we kept the lathe and the mill running almost all weekend long. Had we not done some of this stuff ahead of time, it wouldn't be done right now. So I'm glad we did that. I know Adam Booth kept saying, I hope you're leaving me something to do when you get there, you know, because he kept seeing me making parts. But I think we really, we nailed it just right as far as having just enough work to get done to finish this saw up. So we ran it. We cut some wood with it. There are still a few things that need to be done. You know, just looking at it here, I can tell you that I I've got to do a little bit of work on the gibs over here on the horizontal boring table. They're not just right, and it's just going to take some fiddling. And I just, again, I just need to take some time to do that. But it's all together. It works. So on this horizontal boring table, you can either have a boring bar or a mortising chisel, and you take a piece of wood here and clamp it down, and this just feeds into that, and you can use this to do horizontal boring for, like, if you're doing dowel rods, or horizontal mortising, putting a mortise chisel, a square, basically drilling a square hole or a rectangular hole. You can use this saw, and you're just basically coming right off the saw arbor on the other side with a drill bit and a mortising bit coming in this table. This is a neat attachment. This was not on the saw originally, or not on this saw originally. It was an option on this saw, and we had one of our viewers actually donate this part to us. They had this saw. They weren't going to use this the boring attachment, and they were kind enough to donate it. So we, over the weekend, we restored that and got it back on here as well. So anyway, we got that to do. I've got some issues with the electricals on here. I brought in a motor that I already had. The motor works great. It's a 5 horsepower 3-phase motor. Happened to be the exact right frame size to drop right down the saw. We didn't have the original motor that went with it. And the motor works great. I had a NEMA #1 size starter that I had just brought in that was just something that I had salvaged at some point. Unfortunately, we got some issues with the starter. I'm going to have to find another starter to go on here. So for today, just running it, I wouldn't recommend doing this all the time, but just to test it out, we just wired it directly in, plugged it in to at least get it running to check it out. And she works great. Man, this saw is quiet, makes hardly any noise at all. Normally when you fire up a table saw, you hear this screaming sound. And on this table saw, it's just nice and quiet. In fact, the biggest sound you hear is the click, 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 click of the lace on the flat belt, the metal lacing going around the pulleys. And I think I may even try to put an endless belt on here to take that out. But amazing how quiet it is, and we just cut a piece of wood on it. It wasn't a very big piece of wood, but man, she cuts like butter, perfectly smooth. Mike Wiggins donated a 16-inch Forest Woodworker 2 saw blade to go on here, which is the top of the line saw blade. He happened to have an extra one that he had bought he got a deal on one at some point in time that he got, and he wasn't using it, and he was kind enough to donate it. So let's see, other things that we've got to do on this machine. Around on the front here, the hand wheels, the knobs on here were just rusted beyond repair. So that's a standard item. I can just buy one from McMaster Carl. It'll be easier to buy one, cheaper really to buy one than it would be for me to make one. So I'm going to get a couple of new knobs to go on the hand wheel. We'll put those back in there. That needs to be done. The miter gauge, I've got the miter gauge here. It has a T-slot that it fits into in the table. And when we got this, the T-slot was in, it was rusted in place, and of course, with it being steel, it was just shot. In fact, I had to take an air hammer to pound it to get it to start moving just a little bit at a time, and it took me about 15 minutes to actually get this thing out using an air hammer to push it out. And I got to make a new T-slot to go in here. Again, not a big deal. And I'm sitting here thinking, and that's really about all that's left to do on this to be 100% complete with this restoration. But she runs right now, and man, she is great. I cannot, again, say thank you enough to all the guys that came down this weekend to work on this, and man, it was just a blast. We're going to do this again at some point in time. Maybe we can make this an annual event and have a project weekend, and people can come in and help do a restoration project. We got that big metal planer that Ben Shank donated to the museum, so that very well may be a future restoration project to get that old antique flat belt driven metal planer, which is a really cool machine shop tool, to get that thing restored and operational. So maybe we can do that, next spring sometime. Would like to maybe try to do it a little bit earlier next year. My schedule this year, this was really just when it worked out for me to do it, but it's getting kind of hot down here in South Georgia in June. So maybe we can do it a little bit earlier when the weather's a little bit more agreeable. But anyway, that's all for tonight, guys. I will try to take some more of this video over the next couple of weeks as I have some time. I'm going to be doing some traveling the next couple of weeks of my job, so I'm not going to have a lot of time for YouTube editing. But over the next few weeks, as I do have time, I'll try to get some more of this stuff up where you can maybe get a little bit more detailed shots of some of the things that we did. And I'll probably have to do some narration to tell you about it, since I really wasn't able to talk during the time. And I've got to, again, see what video I've got. But we'll try to do that and get as much of this stuff up for you guys to see over the next few weeks. Thank you for everybody that came down and helped. Thank you for all of my watchers out there who are watching this, and thank you to all of my many subscribers who subscribe to my channel. And thank you for your comments that you send me, guys. We'll talk to you later.